So now we're ready to try to make our first command. So again, we'll start easy. We'll start with like a hello world command. But before we do that, let's just kind of go down the list and see what we're working with. You're probably going to spend most of your time in commands, events, and channel rewards. And it pulls in your channel rewards from Twitch when connected. Hey, welcome in, Sir McDonald. So let's go ahead and create our first command. So we'll do a new command. We'll say hi, and we want the response text to be the infamous hello world. All right, and so we'll save changes on that. Let me try it. There we go. Exclamation hi. It spits back hello world. All right. So congratulations. We just did our first Firebot program. Just like that. All right. So maybe you want to limit it a little bit. He says hello. All right. So maybe the permissions, not him doing different commands. Sup. Maybe you want to make it so let's see. Let's go ahead and switch to advanced mode. Advanced mode, you can see a little bit more things, more effects you can add. Maybe you want to make it so that only VIPs can, or no, let's make it so only mods can run the account. That's where restrictions come in. And so we can add a restriction, and we can add a restriction on permissions. And we will say roles moderator. We'll save the changes. And so now if somebody that's a non-mod, so Sir McDonald, if you don't mind, can you try to run that again? Oh yes, don't forget to check in, everybody. Exclamation check in. Let us know you were here from the raid train. But yeah, Sir McDonald, if you can try that again, or any non-mod can do exclamation hi. It should not work. You might get a message back, or it might just not do anything at all. I don't know. There we go. Sorry, you cannot use this command because you don't have permission. But I should still be able to do it because, oh, dang, I'm not even a mod. All right, let's go back and give myself permissions. All right, permissions, roles, streamer, add yourself, and moderator. So we'll go ahead and save changes on that. Welcome in, Glow. And now we'll do not X being able, X will be able to do the command and I would not. So we'll do hi and it says hello world. So again, very simple. When you think about programming, especially when it comes to these bots, the bots need a trigger and then they need something to do on that trigger after that trigger is initiated. So you have a trigger and you have an action. Like what you have something that initiates it. Think of it as cause and effect, right? So the trigger in this case is somebody typing into chat exclamation hi, and the effect or the action is putting a message into chat. Pretty simple, right? Not both being locked up. Now let's say it's getting spammed a little bit too much. Let's go back to this same one. So this is where you can add like aliases, cooldown, or we'll talk about aliases in a minute. But this is where you can add cooldowns. And so let's go ahead and put a global cooldown of 10 seconds. And so what this is going to say is, okay, y'all need to chill. Can't spam the command too much, but every 10 seconds. And if you have like video commands or sound commands or things that can potentially be a little bit disruptive or can, just become less fun if they're done a little bit too often, it's good to think about putting on a cooldown. So we'll put a 10-second cooldown on this. Go ahead and try to spam exclamation hi, and we should get an error message saying that you got to wait at least 10 seconds if we get some people to do it back to back. You've seen the spam. Yeah, the spam sessions definitely get to the point where they are not fun. Right. Okay. Yep. So perfect. So X did high and then fire tried to do high and we got the cooldown. Is there a way for the mod to toggle the command off? Yes. So that would require permissions granted, but that could be done. So that's an excellent question. So I'm going to go ahead and address that. So let's create a second command, new, and we'll call this command. Yeah, we'll call this command. What I'm going to do is because I saw that double right there is I'm going to plug my wireless keyboard in because ain't nobody got time for that. All right, we'll call this disable high and we'll switch to advanced mode on this. I always want to use advanced mode. And what we're going to do for this command is, first of all, we're going to restrict this command to moderators. So we'll set the same permissions. And the permissions will be roles, moderators, and streamer. We'll save that. And we'll go back in here, edit. And what we want this command to do is, I forget if it's toggle command. So there's there's a whole ton of effects, and you can go through these effects and see all of the things that you can do. So there's a toggle command, which will toggle a command's active status. And so what we'll do is we want it to deactivate essentially if they type that command. Oh, it helps to select the command. Custom command high. So basically what we're saying is we want to toggle the command, which command? The command high, and we want it to deactivate. So we're going to say, okay, we'll save changes. And actually what we're going to do, Fig, since you asked about this command, is we will, let me edit this command, permissions. We will, instead of roles, we'll do single viewer. Let me get your name right. Figo TOTO. Save that. Okay, so Fig, the command is exclamation disable high. And what we should see is right here, it should go from active to no longer being active. You can grant it to whoever you want. That's the great part about it. You're one word, all one word. You're not limited. Yep. And so it's now disabled. And so now we'll make a new command. And so I'm going to take this command disable high. I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to edit this one and I'm going to call it enable high. Fig, you have permissions to run this command, and instead of being a deactivate, it'll be an activate. We'll save changes. Oh, wait, it's enable high copy. Enable high, save changes. All right, and if you do exclamation enable high, the high command will be enabled again. Fig got the power. That was a great question. And as we can see, high is back enabled. So that's a great, I know you mod for a lot of channels. That's a great way. And so you could also do, this is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but you can set up groups. And so you can put, so let's say you had a high, I saw people typing in earlier, yo, sup. Let's say you had a bunch of different ones. You could put all of those in a group and say, disable greetings group or whatever you called it. And every command in that group would be disabled and re-enabled. So you wouldn't have to have a command for each individual one. I did want to hit on aliases. So let me go back in here. So aliases. So I think I saw people typing exclamation sup. So if I save that and we save changes and I do exclamation sup, it does the same thing. So an alias is basically like an alternative command. So if you have something like shout out. Most people do SO. Maybe some people spell out shout out, and you want both to trigger. You can set up an alias. You don't have to make like copies of the same command. So that's a really basic hello world, and then we made it a little bit less basic by adding timers and all of those things to it. Thank you so much for that follow.